Winter may not be the ideal time to put your home on the market, but we've got expert tips that can make your property hot. Here to show us all the advantages is real estate agent Jim Gamble. So we've got to ask you, what are the advantages to selling in the winter time?
So a couple of the advantages are, number one, there's less competition. So when you're competing against fewer homes, you have a more likelihood of being attractive to a home buyer. Secondly, there are fewer home buyers, but those home buyers are motivated, and they're in the market because they need to buy a home. So more motivation, less inventory means a higher probability of getting a good price for your home.
Then maybe some of those families also, they got to get in before January starts and their kids are in school.
That's right. A lot of people do try to move during school break, and so if they're not under contract by now, it might be a little late, but you're correct.
Okay, so there can be some cold weather out there. What can you do to make sure that the weather doesn't deter buyers?
So the first thing you need to do as a seller is just make sure that your driveway is clear and your sidewalks are clear. The last thing anybody wants to do is get out on an icy driveway, potentially have a slip fall situation. So you want your driveways, your sidewalks, your back patios to be accessible.
Okay, and then we know wintertime does mean shorter hours, so where do we keep the light?
We need to turn the lights on, especially outside lights. We start outside and then we move inside. The more lights you turn on, the brighter it is, and the house is going to show bigger and better.
Okay, what about cleaning and clearing?
So all sellers need to make sure that their homes are tidy and they're in show condition, meaning if you're preparing for a party, you're going to make sure that the dishes are washed and the beds are made. You want the home staged so that it looks in its best light.
And talking about staging, that means some people might not be living in the house necessarily, but you have to watch what temperature the thermostat's at. Where should it be?
So in the winter when you're showing the home, you want to turn it down because you're paying a utility bill, but in fact, you want it to be comfortable inside. So you probably need to keep your temperature closer to 70 degrees, if not a little more.
Okay, and then how do we make sure that that empty house is actually cozy this time of year?
Well, again, it's going to be important that it's a comfortable showing environment, meaning if you can go over and maybe turn on some music, take some cookies over.
You
just want to create an environment as best you can to make the showing go well.
We're talking about turning on the sound. Is that the elevator music, or do we actually want to have a Christmas carol on?
I think during the holidays, Christmas and holiday music is certainly appropriate.
Okay, and if they are a motivated buyer, because we already talked about people moving now need to get in and get out, is there something that you can do to use it to your advantage?
So if you're a home seller, just understand that because it's the holidays, it doesn't mean that you can just relax and not care about the condition of your home for home showings. Make an effort. Have a fire in the fireplace. Put some cider on the stove. Create an environment of love in your home. And
well, you know what? You got the cider and you probably got me sold, so thank you so much, Jim.